want to get the super real stuff right now. So he dropped off. Now I'm looking for the Airbnb, carrying the suitcase, the full shebang. I'm pretty sure it's up here actually. So so far things have been fairly smooth enough flight, smooth enough experience in the airport. Don't want to talk into this camera for too long, but this is the real shit. First time in Georgia. The Bolt driver didn't speak a word of English, I don't think, apart from bye. So yeah, usually we have a Kanga machine, which is like a 4 or 5 grand bit of kit, and we drive around, obviously carry all of our stuff. And there's loads of things we take into consideration. One of them being, when we arrive, what's the parking like? How far is it? We had to do an apartment building once where there was a lot of stairs. Actually, you could say more than once. Spain, Portugal, Bosnia, but yeah, Bosnia was a nightmare. And then we had the Kanga machine there anyway. We obviously were carrying all of our stuff up. The Kanga machine's in, it's up there. Gives us really clean water. And then we had a water shortage. Oh mate. Fuck. So I can only really here drink bottled water, which is not great. But I'm hoping it's better than the tap. And this is a little bit of electrolytes. Some Relight, that's a good brand. I have this, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna put this stuff away. I'm gonna head out, maybe go to a restaurant. I want to connect with someone. So one thing I heard coming before I come out here is that the service isn't that great, the people aren't so friendly. And sometimes you've got to understand the cultural difference, you know. Sometimes there's a cultural difference that gives people the illusion that people are rude, and they're not. But I haven't done any overly connecting conversations yet. But I've only been here an hour and a half, or whatever it's been. Okay, some salad leaves. No, that's not too bad. I'm alright there. I've got some stuff. But fuck me. It is so much better to have your teammate. I'm speaking about you, AIM. So much better to have your teammate. So I took 2 capsules of glutathione in there, which is a detoxifier, good for immunity. Because I've been traveling, driving. We drove like 15 hours, longer maybe, and it's good. Your body goes through the airport, deals with a lot of stress. Yeah, I should bear that in mind, easing in here. I definitely want to get to the gym tomorrow, do a workout. Go to the gym tomorrow, do a workout. Maybe get my hair cut. Find a spa that I can go and get some treatments. Most people don't like kombucha. When people come around ours and we give them kombucha, they're never really a fan of it. They're like, not sure how to deal with it. And the interesting thing, you can get some really sweet kombuchas. But the idea of kombucha is it's not sweet because it's got no sugar in it. Because the fermentation process eats away at the sugar, creates this bacteria, which is meant to replenish and nourish your gut. And I've had better tasting kombuchas, but it is kombucha. I am testing out this night feature on this camera. So I'm not too sure how it will come out. But it is very warm and very humid right now. I don't know the exact temperature. But I'm wandering out for the first time. I'm just going to do a lap of my block. I know there's a few things here. My entire goal whilst I'm here is to really get a vibe of the place. You know, get a sense of what's going on. Is it comfortable here? Is it safe here? You know, what's the language barrier like? How easy is it for me to purchase shit? How easy is it for me to go to the grocery store, which I'm going to do? There's a fair amount I need to achieve whilst being here. The gym being one of them. And I don't know if that's the gym at the bottom of the building. I know there's a bottom, the gym at the bottom. Anyway, so I'm here with 11 nights planned. But openness to be super flexible and see what happens. I don't know how noisy it will be as well. I've got mics I need to use. Just putting it on is a little bit long. So I'm taking it all in. Amy's back. Amy's back here in the UK. Yeah, I'm going to go to this supermarket first. And I'm getting a vibe on the streets and seeing what's going on, specifically in Tbilisi. This is officially day 2. And what I'm going to do is clip my nails before I go out. But I've spent the day online. It was gorgeous earlier. So Georgia's definitely warmer, you know, more hot, more humid than the Balkan countries, from my experience so far at least. And then it did rain, and I've been going on and off the balcony, but spent most of the day doing research, really. Like Eventbrite was something I was on today, because it's a good way to find out what's going on locally. I need to get involved in some kind of community, so I'm going to see if there's a way I can do some personal trainings with a boxing coach round here, similar to what I did in Serbia, because that's normally like a very direct and in way to get in with someone. Something else I'm also optimistic about is the barbers. There's a barbers down here, of which I'm planning on going tomorrow actually, if I can get my haircut, connect with a barber, ideally speaks English. A barber is always a good individual. This is what I think about anyway. When you get into like a town, a city, a community, a place, a culture, you've got to look at what's always going to be there. What are certain people's professions, right? A barbershop, whether you're in America, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in fucking Asia, a barbershop is a cultural landmark, and you can gain a lot of information from those. Like if you go to a coffee shop, there's a slim chance that you might bump into someone, get connected with someone, the staff there, but they're working, they're not seeing to you. A barber, you're sat with them for what, 20 minutes? 20 minutes, maybe longer, and you're finding out about them, the area, whatever you're doing, speaking to a barber. But a barber is a great touch point when you come to somewhere new. So I'm hoping for that tomorrow, and then gyms and personal training. Spontaneity. I'm gonna see. It's often the case with me. I'm just going out. I somewhat have an intention, but the intuition will guide me. We did this a hell of a lot in Vietnam, actually. If you haven't watched the Project Wisdom series, if this goes out on YouTube, I'll put a link underneath this video. If you go to Rumble, which is where most of they are on YouTube, they're on Yasha's channel. But I'm going to leave the link underneath the video because I don't know what Yasha's done with his channel, but we produced like 7 episodes. High quality content. Yasha followed me around, he's a videographer. Filmed over the course of him first coming to visit me in Horsham. We was already friends, but it's the first time he actually come and visited what we called the Palace Retreat, and documented the journey from Horsham through to Vietnam. And the episode at the end with Thomas, where we met the spa owner, Thomas, that was exactly why we trust intuition, because the way that the story unfolded was we actually planned to go to a place, the place we couldn't find, the place we were looking for originally that Yasha found for a massage was non-existent. We couldn't find it, so it's just like, fuck it, let's get a feel. And just by wandering, trusting intuition, looking at a good place, going in there, we got unbelievable service, made a great friend, got great content. Got within like a couple of hours, I'm on the back of this guy's motorbike. He's taking me around the corner to his best spa. He's the owner of this spa. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm wandering through right now. Still harmonizing for sure here, because it's definitely unique here, and it's in its sense of energy, vibe, people. It's definitely unique. There's a fuck ton going on. I don't really know. And I said this before, like certain cultures, you've got to understand that's the difference. How are you, gents? That's the difference. You can get a lot of stares. You know, you can get a lot of people staring at you. You can get a lot of what feels like a blunt rudeness. And it's just a form of communication that is not so familiar to you. And when you think about it, I actually might, right now actually, head to this gym, because I didn't go today, and see about signing up, see if I can connect someone here. But yeah, like, you've got to understand, when you come to a place like this, like I'm wandering around on my own in the capital of Georgia right now. I don't really know anyone here. I'm wearing fucking flip-flops. You know, I don't know how much I stand out as a fucking, what you could call a tourist. But yeah, the reality of the situation is Tbilisi allegedly is meant to be one of the safest places. I'm gonna fucking walk here now. So yeah, I'm actually going to wander in this gym, see if I can speak to someone, and then yeah, and then come out on the other side, see what happens. Yeah, so plan is to head in that gym tomorrow. Head in that gym tomorrow, see what happens. I think one of the key things for me, aside right now, just finding a path actually. One of the key things for me being here is considering what it's like if I was to be here with a woman and a dog. And there's a way different energy to coming here on your own and with a woman and a dog, I imagine. So yeah, one of my goals is to scout this place out as a potential for me, Amy and Shadow. And right now, even just getting a vibe of this road, like one of the things that kept coming up was, don't even bother trying to drive in Georgia. But I bet you could say that about a lot of the Balkan countries, and although it's a little bit more leery, it's also not that bad. It's also not that bad at all. So you gotta take the advice on the outside with a pinch of salt. And then when you're there, kind of make a judgment for yourself, I guess. But the reality is I probably won't drive here. Obviously we normally drive everywhere. I flew into Georgia. Fucking hell, a lot of traffic now. I'm just trying to get across this road, mate. So we'll scout that out as a potential place. I'm gonna go here now. I'm gonna walk on this road like it's Vietnam. This is just standard Vietnam. Now the key way to do it, the key thing to do is walk into the traffic. You slice. In Vietnam we used to call it the old slice. And I just had to pull that cultural experience out of my arse there, just to get across the road. But nonetheless, here's some realizations I'm having so far. One, there's no perfect place. There is no perfect place. And just to add context here, right, some of the questions that run through my mind, obviously what me and Amy are focused on right now, is where can we live? Right, because we can live in Croatia, we could live in Serbia, we could live in Bosnia, Montenegro, we could live in Spain, Portugal, we could live in a lot of these countries that we've been moving around every 90 days for. But why haven't we? And there's two main parts to it. One is we weren't really ready for it. We had to keep moving around, and it's been great fun until the trade-offs don't make sense anymore. So the trade-offs, I mean, it's too many to mention, it's very subjective, but you're always going to get trade-offs, so there's no perfect place. And although pretty much so many of those places, they have felt like home when we were there, you can't help but feel, when you're in a place knowing you have to leave, you can't help but feel somewhat unsettled. Yeah, you're unsettled by it. So the trade-off, let's say with Georgia, if you hold a UK passport, you can live here for a year, and it's very easy to get back in the country. It's very easy. You can just exit the border, have a shit in a bush, come back. It's pretty much that easy. You can't do that in most of Europe, in the Schengen zone. You can't do that because of the rules. So there's always going to be a trade-off. And here's what I'm learning, right? What really makes you want to settle in a place, there's an element of unspoken feeling that you can't describe. You know, what you could just call the vibe. What's the vibe like? There's a massive element of that. But the vibe is a result of something else, because the vibe is just the vibration. So you've got to look at what creates the vibration. And mostly it is going to be people. You could almost say exclusively it's going to be people, because people impact and influence everything else. So if you're looking at it, people are going to hold a certain belief, right? They're going to act and live in a certain way. I am really hoping, although I'm holding the camera, that Amy's capturing her time in the UK right now, because we know the UK. Jesus Christ, almost got sneezed on. We know the UK is a declining country, and you know, to everyone that's living in the UK still that can't get out for whatever reasons, work, you know, for whatever your reason is that you can't leave, maybe you don't want to leave, maybe you do feel pulled spiritually to stay there and quite literally fight for the country. If you're doing that in any single way, shape or form, then fair play to you, because it needs it. I just know my place isn't there. How do I know that? Because I feel awful. I feel sick. I feel depressed. I'm not at my best when I'm in the UK, period. And if you want to keep things very simple, and you just want to know, like, is this for me? Well, ask yourself, does this enable me to be at my best? Because if you're going to be a service to people, if you're going to be a service even to God, right? You allow God to move through you. If you're really going to do that, you need to understand the fundamental laws of reality. You can do that when you're at your best. So the greatest thing that can happen is for you to be at your best. That's why if you are reluctant to look after yourself because and it's a coping mechanism, but you are like, oh, everyone else needs me, like my children need me, you know, my family if you never look after yourself and you are declining, you're actually no good to your children, you're no good to your friends, your family. At the core of it, you need to be at your best. People being the number one priority, really. After people, then I would say comes your, what would I describe it as? Like, can I access good local meat? Yeah, can I get deliveries sent to my place? Do I have accessibility to nature? Can I see myself building a family? Would I feel encouraged and excited to invite friends to come and visit me? Would I be able to? This is another thing that I felt in Serbia, because my perspective on it is a little bit different. Maybe not to other people, but I don't feel like I fit in anywhere specifically. That's what I was saying. Relatives. That's what I was saying. Relatives and family. That's what became really clear in 2020. Was relatives are way different to family. Family is loads of people, black, white, fucking Asian, Indian. Family is people that are on your spiritual frequency. People that, you know, go beyond relatives. Okay, so there's a lot happening down here. I'm just going to keep walking, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot happening spiritually when people are on the same frequency as you. And I have experience of that myself, but also I have a ton of experience witnessing that with other people. And you know, 2020 really changed it and made it clear. And relatives are not holding the value that they used to. And I also think this depends on what generation you're in, because I'm here to break generational curses in my bloodline, and then I'll create a new bloodline, and then who knows what happens. Maybe, you know, in the traditional sense of family it makes sense, But I would say for the last X amount of time, 100 years, more, core family traditions and values have been attacked and destroyed. So they don't hold the value anymore. Or contrary, there's even more value in it if you have it. That could be the place, you know. I typically walk past the place casually, like Mr. Casual, casually walk past the place and feel its energy. And if I feel pulled to go in, I'll go in. I'm gonna continue to sniff out the corners of the map. Steakhouse. Oh, this is a bit of me. This is a bit of me. Terrace and lounge bar. This is me for sure. Tbilisi Steakhouse. I don't know if I can go in with flip-flops though. That looks like a good place. Park in there. Yeah, there's. Well, I'm going to see if I can go in it. It's like a hotel as well. Got a steak. Let me walk up here. Meet me here. Oh, there is. This looks very similar to the steak place that me and Amy was going in Serbia. There's the meat aging there. But yeah, I just wandered in here, met Saba, which is good. Like, can connect with someone, speak English, and definitely learn a lot. Capitalize. Not just coming in here to eat, to learn. I got a glass of red wine. It's a classic order of ribeye, medium rare. Very helpful, very willing to give me recommendations. Chimichurri sauce, chimichurri. I don't think I've ever had that before, but there's no dairy in it. It sounds like the most natural sauce to have, so I'll get a little bit of that. French fries on the side, keep it super simple. And this is connected to a hotel. And I'm here for 11 nights. If I extend, I have to find an option with somewhat limited notice. And a hotel could be an option. This is a good little spot. This is like right downtown in Heaterville. There's a steakhouse right here. You know, my life's pretty simple. Steak, coffee, give me access to like some kind of gym or something to you know, work physically, and then mentally, business-wise, spiritually, should come through where finances come in. Like you should find it through those mediums. And all I need here is a Wi-Fi connection. That was one of the things as a potential concern here in Georgia that it might not last. Is the internet infrastructure isn't as up to date. I think the average speed here is like 30 to 50 megabytes download. So yeah, I'm just taking it slow. I'm still just getting a feel and a vibe here in Georgia. I'm definitely experiencing like a natural challenge of integrating, not knowing anything, really coming in the dark. And twice now, I went out yesterday, I carried this stupid bag to try and carry all the shopping. And today I just feel like I'm a little bit underprepared to have walked in here, but fuck it, you know? She didn't even bat an eyelid. She was like, yeah, you come in, sure. So imagine if this is connected to a hotel. I mean, it probably wouldn't be surprising if someone comes down in their dressing gown and shit. But I'm just going to sit back, eat, enjoy. I'm in this highly attuned learning state right now, being here. I can feel it in the way that I'm communicating. I can feel it in the way that my brain's processing information also. I get every nuance I'm kind of slotting into. There's a very interesting mixture of the influences that I felt in Vietnam and the influences that you find in the Balkans. And it would make sense where Georgia is on the map. I'm just in this position right now, and the season of my life, figuring out what Earth is. Like, what are we on? What's happening? What am I going to do? What actually is what's the most needed thing in life? What do I have to have more than anything? And where can I access that? You know, what do I have to work towards? Where's my energy best spent? What's distracting that doesn't really matter, like global warming? Irrelevant. I'm not even going to go into it, but more relevant things, it's like, which country can I actually not get killed in? Which country can I thrive in? Which country gives me the foundation to be making money, developing what I want to develop, and not only encouraging it, the fuel and the resource to let it happen. So there's a lot to do, there's a lot to achieve. This comes up as a very different type of energy when I'm not with Amy. Obviously, when I'm with Amy, there's loads of other parts of life that become way more important just because I'm around her. And on the same side of that, there's also a load of things that I have as a benefit and I can utilize. Here, it's very raw, just wandering around on your own. It's very raw, coming into a place on your own. You're left with just yourself. And why that's important is, an incredible part of life is figuring out who the fuck you are. Also what you are. And in isolation, somewhat, like I am now, I'm solo, you figure out how to access and find that without the filters or the dynamics that sometimes take you away from it. And in my case, it could be being around Amy, which is amazing. But there's loads of unconscious, even if I'm conscious of them, they're operating unconsciously, behaviors and habits that I'll have that might take me away from realizations, epiphanies. It might take me away from discipline. It might take me away from things. And of course, full accountability, everything that happens in my life is my fault, and I have to take responsibility and power of it. But we're just talking about external influence and dynamics. Coming here to Georgia
and there being something about it. There's something about this country, and I haven't quite put my finger on it just yet, but there's something deeply rooted here that I sense also needs to happen everywhere. In Serbia, you get a sense that people are very, very aware, and you can feel that people are very aware. And there's a lot of unconscious people and people that just what the internet now coins as an NPC. There's a lot of that happening. Here in Georgia, it's too early to say, but I can just sense something running through the blood of it. And even if it's just, for the most part so far, the energy is completely different in regards to meeting people. In Serbia, people are very, how do I say it, curious and warming and receptive to you being British and wandering around. Maybe that's because of the places we visited. Novi Sad, I don't think it attracts a lot of digital nomads, but nonetheless, Georgia does, I believe. And here, it's not like that. I haven't felt that, but there's just an adjustment to the people. Now, in Asia, I think all the way over to East, the hospitality is amazing. But you're not talking loads to them. You know, not a lot's happening in that sense. You just get it. And here, I'm definitely still I'm just finding my feet. I'm going to be myself. I understand common sense is a universal language. I know how to act. I know how to behave. I know how to respond and learn from feedback around me. But I also will be myself. Looping back to here, what happens when also you become solo? I'm just going to be myself. You know, I can walk into a place with any mindset in the world. What do I choose to have? And objectively, if I choose to have, I'm a very conscious, aware human being, maneuvering around on Earth in the way that I am right now in this body. And I've walked into this place, and there's an opportunity for you to meet me. If I have that in a non-egotistical way, as an awareness, that will vibrate off me. I'm using the word harmonise a lot. It's come up a lot since I've left the apartment and started filming and documenting, just like arriving here so far. But harmonisation, think about it in music, you need to harmonise, you need to be in tune with each other. And it doesn't happen immediately. Music isn't quantized, it's living and breathing, so you find it in the groove of life. And that's what happens when you come here. It's the groove of life that you're walking into here. This is this energy. It is what it is. You can't have an opinion about it, you just need to observe it and feel it. And then harmonise with it. Like music, because again, music is a frequency and a vibration, and what was I talking about? It's like you're getting a vibe of the place, you're just tuning into the harmony of the environment. And there's levels that you can do that. You can become an absolute chameleon and completely harmonise in your environment. But as a human being, if you're gonna do that at a really high level, there's a lot that happens with it, and one of those things is language. If you can't speak the language, then you stand out. So you have to lean on the other tools of what's universal. The other side of it is, if you're not, say for example, you don't understand anything about I don't know, it might even just be a political view that you hold, and you don't understand anything about the local culture here, can't harmonise as well. If you're just in your own way and you make judgments of people that are reflections of your internal limitations, then you can't accept people for who they are. You're trying to form them to be like you. And that's actually a lot of what's happening when culture's stolen from land, when you steal culture from land. As in what's happening in the UK, for example, right now. The culture's being stolen. And the same themes are coming up in what I was talking about when I was walking. It was very scattered, but now I'm sat in a restaurant, I can actually talk about this. Would have been good to have more battery. There's just nothing unprepared. I've got a battery pack, a sick battery pack for the camera, and I've got mics, so I can just wear a mic in here and just talk. This could be a whole 90 minutes of just content. Have I learned better from next time? Anyway, I'm wandering around saying a lot of the same things, same topics, same themes of conversation. And if anything, that's a reflection of what my content's about. I'm not here for it to be liked. I'm not here to try and be interesting to everyone. I'm here to do what I'm being pulled towards and continue to do that, whether people see it or not. So I'm here, and I'm living it, and I'm capturing it, and allowing the rest to actually happen through God. I have a mailing list. Would you believe it? And that mailing list is where I provide all exclusive, uncensored information, wisdom, tools, free resources, invitations, all the kind of basic stuff. And I realized what I have to offer often gets me pulled off social media. So the only way I can give you this direct source of wisdom is on the mailing list.
Shut your mouth. Have you?